So our idea of leadership is an army of people taking the lead in their various fields of endeavor, wherever they are found.
We started out with a very strong passion to drive pioneer excellence across all our programs.
When we started 2002, it wasn't as easy because who wants to send a child to a private university? But by the special grace of God, God has given us a name.
Coming here to Covenant University, I saw things that were like unusual, things you wouldn't find anywhere else in Nigeria. We're addressed as kings, and it has really helped to shape my mindset.
We were told something in year one, and we've been told that we are kings and queens. It sounded like a rhythm initially, but all of a sudden it's becoming real, and God is really using us to change the world, revolutionize Africa, and to impact our world in general.
At a time when the Nigerian educational system, and by extension the African educational landscape, was in a state of deterioration, and only a revolutionary approach could effect the desired change, some faith-based institutions began to rise up to the challenge. One of these, the World Mission Agency, an arm of the Living Faith Church worldwide, took a giant step and founded Covenant University in the year 2002.
Right from the beginning, the very first day that Covenant University opened its doors, I remember very vividly, the Chancellor of Covenant University, Dr. David Oyedepo, handed the university over to God. He said, "We cannot run it." God found this university, He funded it, and He lay on the bare ground and handed it over. Right from that point in time, we saw the hand of God at work at Covenant University.
Ever since, it's been a colorful flight for Covenant University from glory to glory. Apart from being the first private university to commence full academic activities on its permanent site with an inaugural class of about 1,500 students, Covenant University has, during its 5 years of existence, consistently reaped a basket full of harvests in its 3 core areas of operation: teaching, research, and community development. In the area of teaching, for instance, Covenant University, through a solid recruitment strategy, has been attracting some of the best brains in the land and beyond. Now, the university is home to about 28 professors, several senior lecturers, other lecturers, and assistant lecturers. Inside its modern classrooms, very well conducive to both lecturers and students, the university faculties do not only impart updated knowledge into its students, but also evoke healthy curiosity in their minds, thereby motivating them to go on a regular searching spree. Fortunately, the university has provided a rich information base in its library, known as a Center for Learning Resources.
You take a walk to the university library, you'll be excited to see how students are so engaged and taken in by just the need to search. And we have the OPAC system in place, so searching for books is not any hassle.
Built on a sprawling expanse of land of about 11,300 square meters, and with a sitting capacity of about 3,500 readers, the Center for Learning Resources has grown to be one of the best on the continent.
This is our 5th year running, and I want to say that the library has grown tremendously from the place we were in a college setting to where we have moved to this edifice now. We have grown both in size, in our collection, in staff strength, in the beauty of the environment. We have several online databases that provide thousands of electronic journals and books, and there is a hotspot that provides for wireless access whereby our students and other users who use their laptop to connect to the internet. We have a multimedia center. This center has a state-of-the-art equipment and have several computers. And in this center, we provide access to electronic books and journals. There's access to other web-based literatures. It enables our users to have access to collections of other reputable libraries all over the world, including MIT, Harvard, and Library of Congress. We have grown for these 5 years running, and I'm sure in the next 5 years, nobody in Africa will recognize that this is Nigeria.
As a way of consolidating its strength in teaching, Covenant University did put in place several capacity building programs synergized with rich welfare packages for its academic and non-academic staff. The university faculties are sponsored regularly to participate actively in national and international conferences, as well as study programs abroad, as a way of expanding the frontiers of knowledge and fostering international cooperation. Most recently, 2 academic staff of the university, each from the departments of English Language and Policy and Strategic Studies, won awards for summer study programs in the United States. Cutting-edge teaching aids and facilities are also put in place to forestall any form of technological limitations. In the College of Science and Technology, for instance, Covenant University recently consolidated its lead as an ICT-driven university in the country by launching a world-class, state-of-the-art ICT certification laboratory in partnership with the leading ICT company, New Horizon Learning Center.
We have more than 300 computers in two large rooms, whereby all students have access. One room has 200 systems, another room has 100. All laboratories have got computers. Every office has computers, and we're actually driving an ICT-driven system to ensure that people have access to literature, resources, as well as to other information necessary in operating in what I refer to fondly as a flat world. The laboratories have got state-of-the-art equipment.
We have a solid structure that helps us to actualize our dream. You talk about the facilities; they are second to none. You know, the classrooms are spacious, the offices are magnificent. You know, you talk of modern IT facilities. You know, we have access to the internet. You know, this has given us, height above our colleagues when it comes to our teaching responsibilities. We can access, materials easily from our offices, and this in no small way has helped our teaching methods, and our teaching abilities, and has helped us in rendering our services diligently and faithfully to our students.
The College of Human Development in June 2005 hosted an international conference with the theme Challenges of Human Development in the 21st Century Africa. These conferences in year 2005 alone attracted over 235 abstracts with about 200 scholars from more than 14 nations.
In terms of development in the past 5 years, one would say we started as a modest college. By God's grace, we got accreditation for almost all our programs. Except that French, which just coming on, hasn't matured for accreditation. So all along, we want to say God has been very faithful to us in granting us speed in all we do.
In terms of linkages, Covenant University maintains exchange programs with world-class institutions aimed at charting pathways for excellence and best practices in higher education. Such linkages include collaboration with the likes of Donetsk National University of Technology in the Ukraine in the area of ICT, the Minnesota State University in the United States, and about 53 Commonwealth nations upon admission of the university into membership of the Commonwealth Education Partnership. The corporate world as well is not left out of the train. The university, in collaboration with Uma Tech Computers, a leading IT company, is already exploring the possibility of a fully computerized electoral system in a nation as complex as Nigeria, with over 150 million population. The university, also in conjunction with SocketWorks, in February 2007, fortified its online presence and presently provides access to the public to carry on administrative and academic activities online. Several academic laurels have been won by the university, some of which include the university's rating in March 2005, with less than 3 years operations, as overall best in a nationwide accreditation exercise conducted by the National Universities Commission, the apex regulatory body in Nigeria. In addition to accreditation by the NUC, most academic programs offered by Covenant University have at different times secured accreditation by some professional bodies governing their professional practice in the nation, some of which include the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria (ICAN), the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria (CIBN), the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria (APCON), the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations (NIPR), and several others. In April 2007, Covenant University bagged Best ICT-Driven University Award 2007 in the Private Universities category at the Titans of Technology Award Night organized by ICT Africa. Also, the Commonwealth Scholarship Award 2007, in which Covenant University was rated University with the most improved ICT programs and equipment by a team of researchers drawn from various Commonwealth nations. There have been several other laurels from reputable agencies like Fulbright, Oxford University, Harry Frank Guggenheim Foundation, and Microsoft. Most principal officers of the university, faculty, and students have also at different times won several individual accolades for their meritorious contributions to education. While the Chancellor, Dr. David Oyedepo, was honored by the Nigerian Academy of Education for his immense contributions to the growth of education in the country, he was acknowledged by the Nigerian Institute of Strategic Management for his exemplary leadership in strategic management. Both the Chancellor, Dr. David Oyedepo, and the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Isaac Obayan, were honored for excellence by the University of Minnesota, USA, at the 30th Pan-African Students Leadership Conference in that university. The Vice-Chancellor also won the NAPE Shell Distinguished Education and Mentorship Award in 2005 for her outstanding leadership performance and mentorship capabilities. In 2005, she also emerged Best Vice-Chancellor in the Private Universities category by the National Universities Commission and also won an award for meritorious service by the National Association of Women Academics. On their own part, students of Covenant University have clinched prestigious laurels like the Young Inventors Prize in Japan and have been winners of Commonwealth essay competitions.
With these awards, we just feel grateful that these efforts have been validated. I want to believe that for the staff of Covenant University, for the students of Covenant University, and also for the stakeholders and persons who have believed in the visionary platform of Covenant University, this would excite them in a way that all their expectations, by the grace of God, as far as our current developmental stage is concerned, by the grace of God, have been met.
Covenant University is particularly beginning to establish itself as one with a very rich research culture. Through its world-class research efforts, Covenant University continues to generate and promote new ideas in policy and professional practice. In achieving this, laboratories and workshops are constantly updated with modern research tools and facilities, with huge financial grants constantly made available to make research work effective. The university's convincing inroad into research has led to the successful hosting of several international workshops and conferences by colleges of the university, with the university's public lecture series already numbering up to 16. For instance, the College of Science and Technology successfully hosted about 5 international conferences and workshops between 2005 and 2007. In 2005, there was the International Workshop on Pattern Discovery in Biology. 2 international conferences were successfully staged in 2006 alone. The first was on Built Environment, Innovation, Policy and Sustainable Development, and then the International Workshop on New Trends in Mathematics and Computer Science with application to real-world problems. The new Partnership for Africa's Development, NEPAD, having observed the strength and vitality of the university's research on bioinformatics with the subsequent international conference that followed, earmarked Covenant University as its center for bioinformatics in Africa. By January 2007, the university had successfully held a conference on 3G and mobile computing, followed by another on renewable energy.
I do believe that universities must exist to solve societal problems. We must exist for the common good. We must exist to find solutions to areas that are of challenge. I do believe that to a large extent, the indigenous challenges around us are things that must find stimulus for research. And as a university, we're talking about identifying these broad areas.
Our researchers here, both in electrical engineering and in physics, are collaborating in the area of sourcing local raw materials for exploiting solar energy. You should know that solar energy, solar cells are quite expensive to import, and of course the amount of energy you get from them is quite limited. So one of the researches currently being carried on is how to make use of the available resources, silicon and other materials which are very abundant in Nigeria, in order to make solar cells which can be able to generate a reasonable amount of energy. The prototype has been made and tested. We are hoping that more work will be put in order to expand the project to a larger scale, so as to be able to surprise the rest of the world.
And in its community development initiative, practical steps are also taken, with the maiden outreach successfully launched by pioneer students of the university in the year 2006. Laudable community-oriented initiatives executed by students include Project 1 Million Souls, regular life-saving contributions to orphanages and remand homes, and several others. In 5 years after takeoff, the university has successfully released 2 sets of Covenant Eagles as a validation of its commitment to raising a new generation of leaders. The Pioneer set of Eagles was released in July 2006 at the university's first convocation ceremony, dubbed the Release of Eagles. And recently, at a colorful event, Covenant University released her second set of Eagles. It was the second convocation ceremony, where about 1,200 students from the university's 3 colleges of Business and Social Sciences, Human Development and Science and Technology were awarded with first degrees, a handful of others with master's degrees, and for the first time, the university's School of Postgraduate Studies presented 2 of its students for doctorate degrees. The event was graced by dignitaries both in governance and academic circles, as well as captains of industry. Virtually all Nigerian universities were duly represented. The academic community, both locally and internationally, converged to give Covenant University a standing, resounding ovation for an excellent job well done.
First, a big congratulations to all the graduates, because as you graduate today from Covenant University, you graduate from possibly the best tertiary institution in Nigeria today.
Let me say that what I see here is possibilities. Possibilities driven by vision. This morning shows me what this great country can be. We can replicate this in every nook and corner of this country. Covenant University, thank you for bringing hope to Nigeria.
This is truly a center of excellence in learning, research, character building, leadership training, not only in Nigeria, but I dare say in Africa and indeed the world.
Prophetically, the university is also known as Hebron, the birthplace of kings and queens.
Hebron connotes the birthplace of kings. That was where King David began to reign. So our idea is that Covenant University was coming in to be a factory from where leaders are produced. So what we have here is all our professors and faculty members, they are seen as factory line. They are production men and women. And then we are processing the raw materials through the line until we come out with the final product.
2 things if you must get good product. Your raw materials must be very good. Your process must be right in touch with the product you had in mind. And therefore, the university invests very heavily in terms of making sure we get the quality of product. We try to see that happen in the recruitment process of our students. And that's why the recruitment process is usually a very serious one. Why? You want to make sure, because character is the platform, because we are raising a new generation of leaders, character is the platform for leadership. So you want to see somebody who can comply in terms of character requirements. You want to see somebody who can comply in terms of academic requirements. You want to see somebody who will agree to discover himself. You are looking at somebody who agrees to stay within the confines, the constraints that is supposed to form him before he goes out to go and exercise himself. Just this year we introduced eCUSAT, by which all of our student applicants, you get to the computer center, you have your tests, standard tests, and you get your results as you finish the tests, which is just an aptitude test to see how you are thinking.
Thank God for the screening exercise that we have before they are admitted. But after the admission, we have discovered that also there are some levels of pollution. They are coming from a larger society, a society that some of the values are diametrically opposed to the ones we have here. So they must be schooled into these core values. It is a combined effort. As the academics are doing it, members of staff are also, other members of staff are also doing it. All members of management, the chaplaincy is driving it with all tenacity.
Now what we do in the chaplaincy is that because every information that will go into your spirit must pass through your mind. Until your mind is renewed, your spirit cannot be established. So what we do is to use the word of God to re-engineer the mindset of these youth that are coming from a rotten society, to renew their mind, to reason like God. And by the time we begin to let them know this, some of them, their eye open, and on their own, they are bringing some of these materials. If you see here, I've got a lot of those logos. You can't follow this kind of person and do well. See, they have naked. So these are the role model of our youth out there. And a lot of them are coming out. They are bringing them. You can't be reading this one now. You don't want to practice. And practicing this kind of thing, it will destroy your life, it will destroy your destiny. So they are bringing this thing on their own. I didn't see it from them. They bring it on their own.
Here I got to know that spirituality is that which secures my destiny. And I came in actually as a Christian, but should I say as a religious person. But when I came in here, I came in and I saw the true meaning of spirituality. I came in here and I learned that spirituality is scripturality, applying it. Those things that were difficult for me to do then as a Christian, now I do them naturally. I do them with ease. I'm not struggling with my life. I'm not struggling to do things.
One great thing Covenant University has done for us is that it has provided mentors and role models for us. Our chancellor has often told us that if you lack fathers, you lack feathers. And Covenant University has provided fathers for us, and especially in that of our chancellor. He has been a father, and that has helped us to develop feathers to actually fly as eagles from this university.
The university has 7 core values it consciously instills into its students upon admission, before they are released as kings and queens. The university also upholds a lifestyle of discipline as one of its foremost king-making tools.
Covenant University, as long as the founder lives, and the founder is Jesus Christ, it will operate absolutely, totally, untiringly on its values. Covenant University can be called any name, but its product will distinguish her anywhere. I see a picture of an institution that will be the pride of Africa. I see us sharing with Harvard and sharing with Yale on many projects, academic projects. I see Covenant University rewriting the history of university education in Nigeria. I see the best of the brains out here. In the next 10 years, I see our graduates, a number of them, moving close to professorial seats. I see within the next 20 years, for instance, most of the top faculty members as graduates of Covenant University, generating companies and corporations and industries that will begin to promote the job creation philosophy that we've pumped into them. So I see Covenant University as helping to rebuild the damaged image of the African people